Tubes will give A and B like this, the number. So let this be block A, and the bullet approaches here. The bullet, let it be C. So this is a test, and they are separated by a distance D. Now the bullet will pass through the block A according to the data given. And look at the something, neglect time of interaction of the bullet with the first cube. What I should do, the distance moved by the block A in that interval of time should be very less. So neglect time is asking. So the block A, let it be there only, and the bullet will emerge out. So it will emerge out with some speed is given 0.5. Earlier it was u. It will emerge out with a speed 0.5, and the block will have velocity va. And this at to reach there, it will be a test here. So this is t equal to, so this much is sequence. So now as the bullet starts approaching the block B, so what is about block A? Block A will have some displacement. So let's take here, and the bullet, what happen, will approach the block B. So by the time it to collide, so this will cover, let it cover a distance x1. So these are instants of time. Let me define like this. So this particular time sequence, let it be t1. After this, what will happen now? The bullet, what happen, will strike the block B, no, and it didn't say anything about that. So the bullet B, what will happen, gets embedded. Well, it gets embedded immediately. Through block A, it will pass immediately. But through the block B, what when it didn't say anything, so you can't take, it will get embedded immediately because the velocity is zero from 0.5 to become zero when it takes some time, no. So what happened to, meanwhile the block B will undergo displacement. The block B meanwhile will undergo displacement. Very good concept is being introduced here. Just make observation. Very simple idea. The block A meanwhile will cover some distance, take x2. Now look at what is the motion of the block B now. Once the bullet starts entering, the speed of the bullet will decrease, no? Why? Because of resistive force. Because of resistive force. Because of the resistive force. And because of resistive force, the speed of bullet decreases. That resistive force on the block B, how it will act? Towards right. So now if force is acting, so what is the motion of the bullet and the block when the bullet is moving inside the block? Bullet will have retarding motion, block B will have accelerated motion, not uniform velocity motion. So together they'll move, and finally, so let's say that the bullet has now got finally embedded, and they will cover some distance together. So what is this type of motion? This motion, what you can say, it's an accelerated motion. No? I'll call this is x naught. So what is the motion of the bullet and the block when the bullet is moving inside the block B? It's a accelerated motion. So this was the sequence that take place here. Now what will happen after this? Let's keep this. Now what happened? The block A is having a velocity. So it was having velocity BA. So now block A will, and this resultant, it will have velocity, say VB. Now the velocity of A will be greater than B. It will go and collide, and finally both will be at this particular point. just about to collide. Okay, this particular time you call T2. Now this particular time you call T3. And I'll call this distance X3. I say I just made up things like this. After reading, okay, the sequences will go on. Now write the equation to get the required answer. So here the motion of the block and the bullet from the event in the third and fourth diagram will be accelerated. Block B will accelerate, bullet will retard. In the third and fourth diagram, the block B will accelerate and the bullet will retard. So when you are writing equations here, you have to be careful. Write down all the equations, no? So what is T1? Time taken for the bullet to move from the block A to block B. That's what the sequence. What is T2? Time taken for the bullet to penetrate into the block B and come to rest with respect to block B. That is T2. And what is T3? T3, what to define T3? Time taken by the block A to move from this position to go and collide with the block B. That is what T3, no? So these are the times are there. So these times we have to calculate unless we, and that's what he's asking. How long after the bullet emerges from the first cube will the cubes collide? So what all we should calculate now? T1, T2 and T3. T3 and T1 are very easy. Only calculation of T2 is very important. So I'll write down T1. What is T1? Description. T1 is time taken for the bullet. All these problems are not by seeing you can tell. You're supposed to analyze here. It takes usually, when you solve on your own, no, it takes 1 hour. By seeing you'll never get these such things. Time taken for bullet to move from A to B. T2 is what? Time taken for bullet to penetrate into block B and come to rest with respect to block B. Now what is T3? Time taken by block A to move from this position, not initial position. There's a position from certain position and to reach the block B. T2 will not be smaller. That's what the entire question is. You can't neglect T2, neglect time of interaction of the bullet with the first cube. He didn't say neglect time of interaction bullet with second cube. Got it? So T2 is not negligible. I'm making things clear. You do one thing, T2, you make it negligible and solve it, your answer will not match. He has not mentioned. Here is what he has mentioned. I think you should be very careful about the question given, not second cube. Okay, so all right, conservation of momentum all. Rest all everything is writing equation. They're all the basic idea. Okay, let's write one by one all the set of equation. First, between the bullet, block C, bullet and block E. So MCU. I'll write all the equations you solve later on. MCU should be equal to MC into 0.5 U plus MA into VA. So we'll get VA. I'll leave the calculation part up because it'll take more time. So this is about the VA. Then about the somebody said VA 4.5. Okay, good. Do calculation. I'll just describe all the basic things. Now, what about x1? Can we calculate x1? I think the bullet will take some time, no, to move a distance d. So what is the distance moved by the bullet from block A to B? So d is equal to 0.5 u into t1. So I'll get the t1. Then from that t1, I can calculate x1. What is x1? x1 equal to VA into t1. Now, conservation of momentum between the bullet and the block B. What is the equation? 0.5 u mc should be equal to 0.5 mc plus mb. This should not be there. Equal to VB. The bullet plus the block B, they will have combined velocity. I know mass of the block mc, mb, and 0.5 u. This also, I'll get the VB. VB equal to, okay, I'll get the velocity VB also. Now the trouble starts. That x naught how to calculate. That x naught how to calculate. So what is everything? Now d we know. So how much of the block A will move distance to come and collide with the block B? It will cover a distance d. Look at here, d. Then it will move a distance x naught and also x3. No. So let's directly write what is our d plus x naught plus x3 by total time taken. And what is t? T1 plus T2 plus T3. T1 we know. T1 we know. Okay, T1 we got it. Then X0 we don't know. X3 we don't know. T2 and T3 we don't know. We have to search how all those things can be obtained. This is what about the problem solving.
Sir, could you once show the question, please? Thank you, sir.
What next? How to do? How to get all other unknown things? Time taken by the block A from first diagram to last diagram. What is the distance got by the block A? D plus X0 plus X3. Just make observation, nothing big. D plus X0 plus X3. Distance moved by the block A from the first diagram to the last diagram. D plus X0 plus X3. What is overall time? T1 plus T2 plus T3. I think you are getting confusion with this. I'll write it here. And what is T? T equal to T1 plus T2. That is what this is unknown thing of which you have to calculate capital T. But in between, so many unknowns are there. No, T1 we got it. What are unknown things? T2, T3, X0, X3, X2. How to bring all that? Okay, I'll write all the set of equations. I think from here, I need, yeah. Let me proceed here now. Look at the second, I'll give diagrams. 2, 3, 4, 5. From the third diagram, what is the distance? This will be d minus x1 plus x0 plus x3. So shall we write anything for T3? How much of distance the block has moved in the interval of time T3? Va equal to d minus x1 minus x2 plus x0 plus x3 is what? T3. Will I agree? From I'm asking you to look at in the fourth and the fifth diagram. How much of distance the block will move? D minus x1 minus x2. This distance. In that interval of time, what happened to block B? How much it will move? X3, and we know VA and VB. We know VA and VB. So let's equate these two. Equating 1 and 2. We know VA, VB. We know D. So what are unknown things? And we know X1 also. So what are unknown things left over now? X2, X0, and X3. So equating 1 and 2. So you have to do that. Huh? So let me equate here. This should be equal to D minus x3 by VA is equal to x3 by VB. Call equation 3. What is VA? VA can we write only x2? What is VA? VA I can also write x2 by T2. We have defined like
Sir,
this. I think I had done everything in order, ma. Just you have to make observation. Nothing is there. Please do make observation. But nothing is there me to explain also. Huh. It says somebody were asking.
yes, sir. How did you say VA is equal to VB, sir?
I'm not saying VA equal to VB. I didn't say.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Everything is there in order. Just make observation. Nothing is there. So like this, again, looking at the diagrams, I'm writing what is VA, VA, X2, what is the distance covered by the block A, X2 distance. So VA equal to X2 into T2, X2 by T2, VB equal to this one. All these are equations I have. Now, these equation 3 are there. What are unknown things? Unknown things are, known things are D, X1, VA, VB. X2, X0, and X3 are unknown. T2 is also unknown. Let's see that what I can do that one. Now solving this, and further, what is VB? You can write it as any other equation. VB equal to one thing I wrote x3 by T3, that one. So I think still we have to write many equations, no? So I look at the accelerated motion of the block B. Can we calculate that acceleration of the block B? Accelerated motion, I'll enter into accelerated motion of block B. For block B, there is the acceleration. For what interval of time? For time T2. Then VB square equal to 2A x naught. So further, VB square is equal to 2 acceleration. I'll write it as VB T2 x naught, or this will become 2 x naught T2. Next step will be so this is what I'm going to take help here. So on one side I have VB equal to 2 x naught T2. So this is a very important equation. Call equation 4. Okay, now I think we can easily. And what is VA? VA I can also write x2 by T2. So shall I eliminate T2 now from these two? So this is 3, 4, equate 4 and 5. Equating 4 and 5, x2 by VA is equal to 2x0 by VB. I know VA and VB, we know, and I'll get relation between x2, x0. So here I'll replace x0 in terms of x2. And I already know D. What are known things? Known things I'll put like this. and x1 also known, VB also. Okay, I think I'll come here. D we know, x1 we know, VA we know, VB we know. What we don't know, x2, x0, x3. I got one relation between x2 and x0. So x0 I'll replace into x2. Somehow x3 should be replaced in terms of x2. No, I'll solve it. I'll get the required answer. So what I should do to get x2 in terms of x3? Relative motion between block A and B, I'll take help of VA minus VB. Relative motion between the block A and B, I'll discuss. From where to where? From this position. From the fourth and the fifth diagram, I'll describe the relative motion between block A and B. Any equations can you write from there? We have already VB equal to x3 T3. So I'll take the fourth and the fifth diagram. I'll bring this. Oh, where it has gone. Moving, I think, a little bit problem. Shall I write directly? So this total diagram. I'll do one thing. I'll copy it. Okay, just wait. I'll get all the things. Huh? Where? I think everything gone. I'll write down the equation. Copying it is not permitting. I'll write down some set of equation between the. Able to see all of you? Can I continue?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Some problem has arisen. Yeah. I'll write down the equation. So relative distance moved between the block later on you check it with the diagrams. Huh? Directly let me write equation. So this should be equal to VA minus VB equal to D minus X1 minus X2 plus X0 by T3. From where this equation? Between fourth and fifth diagram. How much of distance the block A will move to meet the block B? D minus X1 minus X2 plus X0 plus X3. No? This will be plus X0 plus X3. It should be X3. Huh? So D minus of X1 minus X2 plus X0 plus X3. This is. So we know VA, VB, D, X1 and we got X3 in terms of X0. that I'll substitute. So only thing is, and x0 in terms of x2, I got it. I'll substitute, I'll get now x3 in terms of x2. Solving this, solve for x2 now. Here you'll get x3 in terms of x2. Now bring the all that and substitute back here. x3 in terms of x2, x0 in terms of x2. We know x1. So from that, what one will get the t3. What is further x0 you can write? X0 you can write it as here only available, no? X0 you can write VB2 T2, or in terms of speed, I brought one
Sir?
equation. Wait. No,
X3 should not be there, right? When we are
relative distance.
subtracting,
This is d minus x1 plus x2. Yeah, x3 will not be there. Relative separation, no? Relative distance moved by that. And we know x2 in terms of x0 here. And t3, what I'll do with t3? T3 I'll replace. Yeah, thank you. So VA minus VB, D minus. Okay, it is taking a lot of time. X0, I'll replace it as VB x2 by 2 VA. T3, I'll write this equation, x3 by VB. I'll get relation between x2 and x3 here. Okay, now solving this and substituting in the final equation, this one. I know x3 in terms of T3 also I'm replacing here, x3 by VB. Then again further from this equation, x2 and in terms of x3 will come. That I'm going to replace here. With that, we can get the required answers. You have to work out all this. I'm just leaving it here. You'll get the answer. Can you solve this all? I'll proceed to next one. Almost it took half an hour. So there's the equation 5, 6, this is 7. Answer is there in Pathfinder, you can check it. So total time will be 4 seconds. You'll get exactly that 4 seconds when you solve it. Writing equation 7 is very important part. Diagram 4 and 5. The block A will move a distance d minus x1 minus x2 plus x0 plus x3. And block B, how much will move? x3. So that x3 will get cancelled out there. And what is the time taken? That is be t3. This is very important. So solving here will get x2 and x3 relationship. Everything combine, substitute here now. x0 in terms of x2, x3 in terms of x2, then only x2 is unknown. So now we do one thing, put solve for x3 in terms of x2. And then substitute in equation 3. x0 also substitute here now. 6 and this next what equation you get? Substitute in equation 3, you'll get x2. Well, after getting x2, you can find out all the things. You'll get t2. Then if you know x2, you'll get the x3. Then you'll bring t3. Then rest of everything answer will be there. Okay, now next question. Again, this is also a little bit lengthy. We'll try to finish off this. Pathfinder questions concept will be there, but you have to put effort. Will not get things easier.